Awesome sauce. Yeah, I was like, I'm ready to go. The icebox, I'll get you one.
A little reverse order as I look in front of me, and this is the press conference for the national champion Oklahoma Sooners. We have student athletes Chi Juarez and Jocelyn Olive. Questions for our student athletes? We'll start with Ryan Aber.
Yeah, Giselle and Jocelyn, what did it mean to see Patty Gasso celebrate this national championship, and what does it mean to you to now be a part of the fraternity of OU and Patty Gasso national championship players?
Start with G, please.
Honestly, like, all the glory goes to God. We've been battling together. That's been kind of our thing. And God helped us through this, and he just worked through us. And I think it's just really awesome. And to see Coach with us, like, it's just really awesome to see us do what we were trained for. So, God gets all the glory today.
Jocelyn?
I think it's super awesome. Like G said, God's been with us this whole time, and to see Coach in that moment was just awesome. I think she kind of has relied on me and G for a little bit, and just to share that moment with her was awesome. Another thing, too, is that Coach has... Actually, never mind. Sorry. I just am lost for words right now.
Jenny Carlson.
Please cut that.
I was hoping you'd finish it. I wanted to hear what you were going to say.
Sorry.
Hey, Jocelyn, a couple things. Can you just talk about the fact that in that designated player spot that you were in this tournament, hitting is that's what you're doing for this team, and to have that as your singular focus and to be able to produce like you did throughout this tournament, the challenge in that, what is that for you? And then to get that first run on the board today, I think you had a 2-2 count, you'd fouled, you'd swung and missed. To get that home run in that moment, talk me through that a little bit too.
Yeah, it's kind of just been smooth sailing, quite honestly. As a DP and as a hitter, I try not to think so much about outcomes, more so just focusing on the process of things. So really, I was just going up there and I was doing my thing. And today, when I seen the ball go out, I was like, yes, finally. But yeah, it was just very good. I just really stuck to my plan and I knew what I wanted. So it was good to see the ball go out and just give us the early lead.
Joey Helmer.
Yeah, G, I think it was pretty fitting that the last play came to you on the pop-up. What were you thinking as that ball was popped up and you're about to catch it? And then what was the celebration like? And Jocelyn also, what were your thoughts when you're running out there for the celebration?
Honestly, I was kind of hoping it didn't go in the sun and that they would let me catch it. But, I felt so slow motion, and then just to look up after I caught it and see Hanson running at me, like, surreal, awesome moment.
Eric Bailey.
Hey, G, I just wanted to ask you, at what point were you told you were going to pitch today, and how did you feel? It just seemed like you stayed strong throughout the game.
I think this morning, not super early, but it was before we had left the hotel. So, I felt good. I knew adrenaline was going to be going through. It was my last game here as a Sooner, and I just wanted to leave it all out there on the field for my teammates, and that's what I did.
Josh Calloway.
Yeah, Giselle, obviously your season is absolutely incredible. And have you even begun to comprehend what you did this week at the WCWS? Performed at an extremely high level and got most outstanding player. Has it even set in at all, how high you performed to cap off your career?
No, it hasn't set in. But, I just wanted to go out there and have my team and just give them every chance to win. And, I mean, this beginning of the season wasn't great for me, but I just kept grinding and trusting God's plan for myself. And I mean, he had this moment planned for me. So I think man, it just feels surreal right now.
Graham Hayes.
For Jocelyn, when you were growing up playing in Hawaii or coming over for travel ball, when did the idea of OU softball start to become something different for you? When did that brand become something that mattered?
It was actually my senior year of high school. So I don't know if you guys know, but I was actually committed to Cal Berkeley my freshman year and then decommitted from there my senior year. And I remember calling my travel ball coach, Coach Mike, and I was like, hey, like my heart's not with Cal Berkeley no more. Is there any other options? And Oklahoma said they might have something, so I took a visit up there and I committed on my 18th birthday. So my birthday is always like a special thing to remember. But man, to be from Hawaii and to be in a national championship and win a national championship was awesome. And I just want to say to all the other Hawaii kids that things like this can happen with hard work, and that you just continue to do your thing every single day.
All right, last one for this group, Brian Chapman.
Hey, this one's for Jocelyn. Can you just kind of talk about what Nicole Mendez, Shannon, and Giselle meant to this team, that they all had their big moments this weekend as they have all year?
Oh, it's going to be tough without them next year, man. It's going to be so sad without them. And it's just kind of setting in that this was my last game with them, and I've come through this program with them, and they mean so much to this program, and I'm so happy we could win a national championship for them.
Making me cry.
I know. But I was just so happy to have this with them because we've been talking about it all year, and we just continue to trust in God. And man, I'm gonna miss them. I'm gonna miss them so much.
Jocelyn G., thank you so much for your time throughout the week. Congratulations, national champions.
Thank you.
We are now joined by student athletes Jada Coleman and Nicole Mendez. We will begin with Clay Horning.
Sure. For both of you, what was it like watching Giselle get this opportunity? I don't know if we all thought she would get it, and not just being good, but being really good, just delivering.
Start with Nicole, please.
I just remember being so proud. I remember last year whenever she got hurt and her not knowing if she would be able to come back. I remember 2 years ago in 19 being on the other side of this ball and her pitching her heart out, and to see her come back from both of those two big adversities and to be where she is, like, I can only smile because it's such a G thing to do, to come in and to say, okay, you know what, I'm going to own this one, and I'm going to bounce back from this injury, and I'm going to carry my team to this championship. It was such a special moment.
Jada?
She just came out on fire this weekend. I mean, she is built for the College World Series. Her mindset is for the College World Series, and we've had Nicole have come in for her earlier in the season, but she came in to be G Wars this week, and she came this game saying, I'm G Wars, I'm about to do G Wars things. So I'm just so proud of her. Great super senior to look up to. It was great.
Rhiannon Potke? Let's go to Eric Bailey.
Hey, Nicole, I just wonder, a game like this, a championship, how big is it for these younger players on the team? And they experienced it, you got to experience it with them. How big was this win moving forward for the Oklahoma program? And then also for Jada, how big is it to win one as a freshman to come in and have this your first year?
Start with Nicole, please.
Whenever I think of Oklahoma, I think of championships. This is what we do here. And for this freshman class, they stopped being freshmen in the fall. They are so talented and they are so confident and they play the game with such grace and maturity that I don't even think of them as freshmen. So moving forward, they have 3 more years of this and the talent that's coming in is only better. I just think Coach has done a great job building this program, not just for this year, next year, but for the future. Definitely am ready to watch them and see what they do because getting to be in these games and getting to win these games and have a season like this, whenever they're juniors and seniors, that season mentality, that experience is going to help them in more ways than they can count.
Jada?
Winning a national championship my freshman year, it was high expectations, but you know that when you commit here and when you sign here, you have very high expectations. You're the best of the best, and you play the best of the best all the time. And I can't believe I'm sitting here right now actually having this hat on and this shirt. Like, I knew, I believed in this team that we were going to do it, but to actually do it, I just, like, want to cry. Like, this is my dream. And to do it my freshman year, now I just got to keep on doing it and not and not give up and just keep working.
Abby Bitterman?
Yeah, Nicole, just to bookend your time at Oklahoma with 2 national championships, just how do you look back on your own career here?
I think that I grew from a young girl into a woman during these past 5 years. And coming in as a freshman and winning it, and then struggling and grinding and working with different teams to get back to this moment. And finally, in my last year, winning it again. I don't know, it just seems like such a way to go out. And I know a lot of athletes don't get to experience this kind of closure the way that the super seniors have been able to. But, I mean, I wouldn't have it any other way. The ups and downs, the trials, I'm at peace, and I am so grateful for the time that I've had at OU and for the experiences Coach has taught me and what the team has taught me.
Roy Hilmer?
Yeah, Nicole, the other day after the first loss, you said this team doesn't lose twice. And shoot, if you weren't right, you guys won the next 2 and win the national championship. Can you just talk about the resiliency of this team? Every time you lost a game, you came back and won it and, to win the national championship. And Jada, if you could also talk about the resiliency of this team and how that made this team so special.
Start with Nicole, please.
I just think this past year and a half has built this team. And we definitely took advantage of the time that we could have together with the incoming freshmen. With COVID and the rule changes and all that stuff. But I think ultimately at the end of the day, it's a complete belief in one another. I mean, you can't be resilient if you don't believe in the person beside you, the person in front of you, the person behind you. If you don't have that belief, that trust, then you're not going to go anywhere. And then it's a pride thing. I'm proud to represent OU, and I'm proud to represent my sisters, Coach Gasso, this university. And I'm not going to let anybody come out and beat me twice. And I take that personally if I get a loss, and we take it personally and we fight for each other because it's not just me. It's just my team. It's OU. It's this university. It's all that kind of stuff. So I think that definitely plays into the resiliency factor.
Jada?
We've been resilient since I stepped on campus, just with COVID and just with all the things that we've had to gone through. But the pride of not letting a team beat us twice is something that I hope to take into next year. And we've shown throughout the season, like, we can't let this team beat us twice. Like, let's trust in each other and let's keep on moving and let's just fight to the end.
Jenny Carlson?
Nicole, I wanted to see if you could talk about that play there right before the end when you face planted. I hope you're okay, but can you talk me through that? And then Jada, I was wondering if you could also talk about Jocelyn's hitting a huge homer to start the scoring today. I think about the fact that she only plays that designated player role. I don't mean only, like just the fact that hitting is her thing. To come out and have that kind of performance, how difficult is that, and what has she meant to you guys?
Jada, let's start with you while Nicole contemplates her face plant.
Yeah, Jossie starting the game off like that was a big momentum shifter just for us to start. Like, we needed momentum. We needed to get that, all right, like, let's go. Like, that's going to be our spark type of thing. And for her to come in and relay, like, what she's seeing, what she's feeling, so we know how to feel like when we go up to bat. And it was huge for her to do that so early in the game and just start the pace for our first three.
Nicole?
I think you can kind of like see right here, there's a little bit of a mark. But I just remember thinking before that pitch, the girl had already hit 2 to me and right, and so I was kind of ready for something my way. But like I said earlier, this team, like, we do it for each other. And I just remember thinking to myself, especially like towards the later games, whenever it's like bigger moments, I always think to myself, like, I would run through a wall for my pitcher. And the ball came, and I was like, well, I'm either going to catch it or I'm not, but I'm not going to drop it because I slowed down or anything. So I ran right into that wall, smacked it right in the face, and knocked off my glasses. But yeah, I just remember thinking, like, I'm going to go all out. Like, she's going all out. Like, why wouldn't I go all out for her? So, but I do think it's really fitting that the game ended in the circle and G got to get the last out. I think that was something really special.
Nicole, Jada, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it. Congratulations. Nicole, good luck in the Olympics.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Viva.
We are now joined by head coach Patty Gasso and the real MOP of the tournament, it looks like.
Yeah.
Let's begin with Ryan Aber.
Yeah. Hey, Patty, congratulations. Wondering, what was that last moment of the game like? It looked like you were almost holding onto the fence to keep you standing there. And, what does this mean to cap off this unique season in this manner? And also, I understand DJ's getting married tomorrow. Is that right?
Yes, he is. He's got a rehearsal dinner happening as we speak. So I'm paying for it, but I'm not there. And I'll be at the wedding tomorrow. So a lot of things were happening. I don't think anyone expected that. Okay, hang on, JT. Wait, Chris, go with Dad. Go on. I don't think anyone thought that they would take an extra day, so that kind of screwed up family plans, but I will be there for the wedding, so I'm really excited about that. I'm sorry that he missed it, but that is a pretty big deal for us tomorrow. So Giselle, my heart just was overflowing with joy for her because it was a tough season for her. It was her super senior year. She had a lot of things to prove. 2019 didn't finish the way she wanted and went through some really tenacious surgery and rehab just to get back and play that last season. So I'm just overwhelmed with joy for that young lady because she was very diligent and fought through it and didn't have her best season, and she would tell you that. But I don't know that it matters right now to her because she had that moment in the course of about 7 days and caps off her career in the most ultimate way you could ever think of.
James Hale?
Patty, at the beginning of the year, you told me you thought you might have a special team. Now you've got a national championship, you're fifth. Your early thoughts have turned out to be totally correct, haven't they?
I knew we were good. I knew we were good. It was really what got us here was really good leadership, a great staff, great strength coach, great hitting coach, great pitching coach, just surrounded with some really hardworking people. And I think these hardworking people had so much belief in this team and they felt it daily. We practice hard. We practice hard daily. They will tell you that. And it's how it all pays off. It's just a lot of hard work and a lot of belief in our culture and our championship mindset and all that we put to work there.
And Engelbrecht?
Hey, Patty, congrats on the win. I just want to know, how does it feel winning this national title after everything this team and program had to go through last year with COVID? What does it mean just for the university to come out of last year and this year a champion?
Yeah, I just don't know that people understand how rough it was. I think every coach in the country could relate, where week by week you're wondering who's going to be at practice and who might not, whether they are contact traced and they're out for 2 weeks, 10 days. It was really tough. It was tough on a few players particularly that were quarantined but never had tested positive. So there was a lot of that going on. When we started the season, we didn't know who might not be traveling with us. So every day at practice, I was trying to get people to learn new positions to fill in case we don't have those players with us. So it was hard. It was, but at the same time, they were so athletic and understanding about it and saying, hey, whatever we need to do to win, put me wherever you need to put me. Some players were sitting out when, they know that they're good enough to be in. It was just such a selfless team approach the entire season. That's what it's about.
Ryan Chapman?
Hey, Patty, you kind of talked about the leadership in Giselle, but also Shannon and Nicole, your super seniors. Like, what did they mean to the team this year? And especially as you're having to rally this weekend, staving off elimination, basically the entire, time you're here in Oklahoma City.
Yeah, you could see both teams today were really starting to run out of gas, especially with how hot it was and the amount of games that we played and the quick turnarounds that we have to face on a pretty much daily basis. Giselle was just something different about her this week that everyone felt very confident about. She had a different look, approach, calm, confident, wanting the ball. Shannon as well. Shannon was ready at all times. Nicole May got some really valuable experience on this big stage. But Nicole Mendez is a whole nother level of leader. And it can be she's so well-spoken, she's so passionate, but anything she says, she backs it up. I think Jossie's a lot like that as well. Lindsay Elam, she's our captain. There was some really good leadership going on this week. Those three in particular, I was really proud of how they took some things over. I think they helped people like Lou get fired up and have a big week, huge week for her. And Lou is someone that is sitting out and wondering when I'm getting in, and I mean, she got that opportunity, she just blasted. And in that moment, it's like, I don't care whether this is a matchup for you or not, you're staying in the game. And some of the catches she made were incredible. Jada Coleman, Tiare Jennings, some of the young ones had to be led by those who have been there, and they did a really nice job of that.
Eric Bailey.
Hey, Patty, just want to ask you, when we talk about passing the torch, how much, you talked a little bit about it, but the leadership that those super seniors are giving players like Jada, players like Tiare, how big is that for the future of the program?
I can't even tell you. It's so hard to get here. It is so difficult to be sitting here. Like words can't even express. It's just really hard. It's a grind, and everyone's got to be kind of in the right mindset. And there are a few of our players that were really struggling uncharacteristically this week. But the freshmen, finding and feeling what it takes to pull this off is invaluable. Kinsey Hansen, kids like that are just, well, I guess they're super fresh. What are they? Super sophomores.
So.
This is a young group, and I didn't realize until we lost our first game. I'm driving driving to the hotel from the stadium, and I'm thinking, wow, why did we look so deer in the headlight? We weren't quite ready for what we were facing with Odyssey and James Madison. And I started counting, like, how many players have been here before. And there was a lot less than what I thought, because they've handled themselves so well in postseason and through the season. But it's quite a different situation when you get to the big stage and what they've been dreaming of. But for them to find out what it feels like and what it takes to win it, the future is really, really bright for the Sooners.
Graham Hayes.
Patty, you have the 5 titles, but basically four different generations of core players have won titles for you, which not many women's programs in any sport have done. What was the tipping point for you when you knew that the program could reload year after year after year and always compete?
I just think our staff does we work really hard recruiting, really hard. So you got to get good athletes, but you got to get athletes that fit your program. And I feel like we found those athletes, and it's really become a great sisterhood. We had some of our national champions up in the stands. I took a picture with Sid Romero and Kelsey Arnold, and they made sure I knew that they were present for 3 of the 5 national championships. And so it's just a really tremendous culture that we're living in, and the expectations don't get too big for them, but this culture it's breeding itself, and it's also bringing in a lot of athletes who want to be part of it.
Karen?
Patty, the 2013 team, a lot of folks hold up as sort of your gold standard, just in terms of power and balance, one player to the next. I don't think you'd argue that point. And I know they're all special to you, all your champions. Now that this team is done, do you see viable comparisons between this one and the one from 8 years ago?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, you got a Lauren Chamberlain and Jocelyn Allo. You've got Shelby Penley and a Tiare Jennings. I mean, you can compare them all the way down the lineup. We had more lefties in the 2013, but they were hybrid type players. They could bunt, they could slap, they could hit gaps, they could hit it out at times. We had a few of our athletes, like a Jada Coleman, be able to do that. So they're very comparable, top to bottom. Don't make me choose, because I can't. They're both very, very worthy.
Jenny Carlson.
Hey, Patty, you talked a little bit yesterday about Jocelyn and just her, the fact she was able to bring it every time and to open up the scoring in the first inning with that home run, and being your designated player, hitting is her deal with that kind of impetus. how important was that for her to hit that home run today, but also just the challenge of that's how she's going to be measured game to game to come through like she did for you guys this week.
Yeah, we knew that we wanted to set the tone pretty early, and Jocelyn Alla was made differently. When she puts her mind to something, she gets it done, whatever it is. And she's such a perfectionist with hitting. We handed her the circle late in the game, and she just got right in the middle of this team and told them what they needed to do and how they needed to change. There's nothing I'm going to do to stop that because they want to listen. They want to hear what she has to say. But she is a perfectionist and one of the smartest hitters I've ever seen. Knows how to use her body the right way, knows what to look for. She was so focused and calm throughout this series, the entire World Series, that it disrupts pitchers, it disrupts their rhythm, it's hard to call what to call against her, what pitch to throw, because she is so versatile with about every pitch. So she was just a really outstanding leader by voice and by example this week.
All right, last one for Coach Josh Callaway.
Yeah, Coach, I guess it's a good way to finish it off. I was going to ask you to talk about the WCWS as a whole. You smashed attendance records and viewership records. Just it feels like the sport of softball took a step forward in the last week. Just your take on the whole event of this week's WCWS.
Yeah, I could tell you that we were all absolutely overwhelmed with the fan support from the Sooners, from the state, from then there were people coming up to us at the hotel that are from different states just coming out to watch us. But the Sooner fans showed up in droves. It was so unreal. We have never felt anything like that. Our athletes were talking about, feels like we're on the sidelines of an OU football game, how loud it is. We just couldn't hear each other. And the fans were passionate, and they were, I thought, very respectful to our opponents as well. And they really, when I first started here, no one really knew what softball was about. Now we've got some very educated fans that know exactly how this game is played, and they know when to interject with us and when to feed us with their noise and their passion. And it's moments that these players will never forget. It'll live in their lives forever, and they'll be able to tell their grandchildren what this felt like. But it's not just the OU fans. I mean, every team we play has a really strong supporting group right behind their dugout that is as passionate as everyone, everybody else in the stadium that might be wearing OU. So there are names that showed up like Odyssey Alexander that everyone will remember from this World Series. Rachel Garcia through her last game as a college athlete here at the College World Series. I mean, there were so many wonderful storylines. To be a part of it was really special to this team and to our program and to our university. So it's been quite an honor to be part of it, and just so appreciative of all the work that goes in by all the crew, whether it's ground crews, the NCAA crew that's helping us through a lot of the changes in schedule and so forth. And what I really hope, in a very sincere way, I think a lot of us coaches spoke up. This tournament is big. It's getting really, really big. It's getting a lot of viewership. It's getting talked about a lot. As coaches, we just want to do what's best for this sport in a respectful way. And we just hope that people are listening, whether it's changing our schedules, giving us an extra day, not having us play in late evening games. There's just a lot of things that definitely, instant replay absolutely needs to be a part of this. So it feels to me like this College World Series really exposed a lot of things in a good way that need to change to make our game better for our student athletes.
Coach, it's been an absolute pleasure over the past week and a half. Thank you so much for being so gracious with your time. Congratulations. And you are first class as always.
Well, I appreciate all of you media who are making this game as big as it is. Besides television, you guys are doing a great job of covering us, and we all, on behalf of softball collegiately, we appreciate you all.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.